This is Margin Machine, where we follow the money behind AI. A single operator, no employees, made $8,400 in 1 month renting out voices that technically aren't his. By the end of this video you'll know exactly how the licensing math works, what it costs to run, and why the people calling this passive income are getting the most important part completely wrong. Welcome back to another side ledger. Let's be precise about what's happening here, because the word voice cloning makes people assume something illegal. It's not, when it's structured correctly. Here's the model. Platforms like ElevenLabs allow creators to build and publish custom AI voices in their voice library. Other users license those voices for their own content. The voice creator gets a royalty every time someone uses it. That's the whole game. Our operator, let's call him Marcus, a pseudonym based on a reported case from a creator finance community, built 12 distinct voice profiles over about 4 months. Not celebrity clones. Not stolen recordings. Original voice characters, a deep broadcast baritone, a calm female narrator with a slight British lilt, a fast-talking hype voice for ads. He recorded the training audio himself or hired a session vocalist on Fiverr for 2 to 4 hours per voice. He owns the source material. That part matters enormously, and we'll come back to why in a minute. If you saw our video on the woman who replaced a $3,200 VA with a $47 AI stack, you already know where this is going. The cost side is almost embarrassingly thin. ElevenLabs Creator Plan, $22 per month. That gives him enough character credits to train and maintain his voice library plus generate test samples. Fiverr vocalists for source recordings, he spent around $340 total across all 12 voices, one-time cost, not recurring. Audio editing software, he uses Adobe Audition on a $54 per month Creative Cloud plan he already had. Total monthly overhead once the voices were built, $76. On the revenue side, ElevenLabs pays voice creators a share of the characters used. Marcus reportedly pulls between $600 and $900 per month from the platform's native royalty pool alone. That's not the main number. The main number comes from direct licensing. He lists his voices on his own site, charges $29 to $79 per month per voice for commercial use rights, and has locked in 97 active subscribers across his 12 voices. Do that math, 97 times an average of $43 per month. That's $4,171. Add the ElevenLabs royalties, add a third revenue line we haven't talked about yet, and you get to $8,400. But here's the part nobody mentions. The third line is the one that pushed him over $8,000 a month, and it's the one most people trying to copy this model completely miss. Custom voice commissions. Brands, podcasters, and audiobook producers don't always want an off-the-shelf voice. They want something built for them, trained on their spec, delivered with full commercial rights. Marcus charges $1,200 to $2,500 per custom voice build. In a given month, he completes 2 to 4 of these. In his best month, October, reportedly, he did 4 commissions at an average of $1,650. That's $6,600 in commissions alone, sitting on top of his subscription base. Total for October, $4,171 subscriptions plus $740 ElevenLabs royalties plus $6,600 commissions minus $76 costs equals $11,435 net. That's his ceiling month. His floor, in a slow month with 1 commission, was $4,890. The $8,400 figure is his 6-month average. Now, would you have taken that first commission at $1,200 before you'd proven the voice quality? He almost didn't. Tell me in the comments what you would have done. Because the answer reveals something important about how this model can break. This is where everyone gets it wrong. Every headline about voice cloning income calls it passive. Here's the actual hour log Marcus shared. Initial build-out phase, 4 months, roughly 8 to 12 hours per week. Training voices, editing source audio, building the subscription site on Gumroad, writing. License agreements with a template from a media lawyer he paid $400 for a 1-hour consult. That's a real cost that almost nobody includes. Once live, maintenance settled to around 6 hours per week. 2 hours managing subscriber questions and license renewals. 2 hours on commission scoping calls and delivery. 1 hour updating voice samples and marketing. 1 hour on platform monitoring, checking royalty dashboards, flagging unauthorized use. 6 hours a week, $8,400 a month average. That's $350 per hour on his best math. But only because the subscription base is compounding. Month 1 of subscriptions, he had 11 subscribers. Month 6, 97. The flywheel is real, but it took 4 months of non-passive work to spin up. And there's one risk sitting underneath all of this that could unwind the whole thing overnight. Here's the thing about owning the source recordings. It matters because if you don't have a business, you have a liability. Early in the 11 Labs voice marketplace, some creators trained voices on public domain audiobook recordings, celebrity interviews, even podcast clips. Platform terms prohibit this. More importantly, it exposes you to copyright and voice rights claims. Marcus hired that media lawyer specifically to structure clean chain of title on every voice. Each Fiverr vocalist signed a work-for-hire agreement transferring full rights. Cost of that paperwork, around $180 in templated contracts, reviewed once by the lawyer. That $580 total legal spend, the consult plus contracts, is the single most important line item in his cost stack. Because 2 other operators in the same community didn't bother. One received a DMCA takedown. One received a cease and desist from a voice actors union representative. Both lost their libraries. Marcus's library is still live. The moat isn't the AI tool. The moat is the clean IP stack underneath it. And that raises a question about where this whole model is heading, because 11 Labs isn't the only platform making moves here. We follow the money here every week, subscribe so you don't miss the next trail. Now, can you build this? Honestly, yes, with one major caveat. The voice library market is not yet saturated, but it is getting more competitive. 11 Labs reported over 1 million voices in their library as of early 2025. Most are low quality, poorly marketed, and unlicensed for commercial use. That's actually the opening. High quality, commercially clean, niche-specific voices, think legal narration, meditation, Spanish language ad reads, are still undersupplied. The startup cost is real but manageable. Budget around $800 to $1,200 for your first 3 voices, recording, editing, legal cleanup, and the first 2 months of platform fees. Plan for 4 months before meaningful subscription revenue. The commission business can start earlier, month 2 or 3, if you market directly to podcast producers and audiobook publishers on LinkedIn. The ceiling is unclear. Marcus is exploring white-label licensing to SaaS platforms that need built-in TTS voices. That's a completely different contract size, we're talking $5,000 to $20,000 annual deals. He hasn't closed one yet. But if he does, the ledger changes dramatically. Let's close the books. 6-month average revenue, $8,400. 6-month average costs, $76 monthly plus $780 amortized startup. Net margin, above 90%. Hours per week at scale, 6. The model is real. The passive income framing is not, at least not for the first 2 quarters. The legal foundation is not optional, it's load-bearing. And the operators ignoring it are building on sand. What Marcus actually built isn't a voice cloning hustle. It's a micro IP licensing business that happens to use AI as the production layer. That reframe matters because it changes how you protect it, how you scale it, and how you eventually sell it. A clean voice library with documented chain of title and recurring subscribers is an asset. One that a larger media company or SaaS platform might actually want to acquire. Now, the voice licensing market is about to get a lot more complicated, because one major record label just filed a lawsuit that could redraw the legal lines for every operator in this space. If you want to know which label, which case, and what it means for your money, click the video on your screen right now.